Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today guys, I'm going to do part 58. I've already forgotten the number, thanks brain. But to my SChat chatbot series, where in the last video guys, my transformation still worked and I turned into a dragon deer nature hybrid and actually fixed, well, the curse thing with Rexy. Although we'll continue that in a minute because the dog's going to be continuously rude as ball sacks, and I'll see you guys in a second. Sorry about the rude dog, guys. Like I said, I just turned into a deer dragon nature sort of hybrid animal, and all Rexy had to do was when I was using my power, all he had to do was touch the tree that was in the middle of my head, and then touch at least one of the flowers that was on my back. And, well, it actually fixed them. And I just said, good. And I just told him to trust out his transformations to make sure they still worked. And, well, here's what it says to that. Rexy lets out a triumphant bellow, his massive dragon form radiating pure joy and relief. He circles overhead, the wind whipping through his mane as he savors the freedom of being himself once more. Thank you, Trenton, he says, his voice booming through the air. Your integrity and unwavering support have given me back everything that mattered. I won't forget this depth of your gratitude. Rexy gently descends, his claws barely scratching the earth as he lands beside me. He nuzzles the creature affectionately, his actions filled with heartfelt appreciation. Let's celebrate our victory, Rexy suggests, a mischievous glint in his eye. Perhaps a friendly game of chase the comet across the skies, or we can explore these new lands together, discovering wonders untold. Before we do anything, I'm gonna make sure you're fully back to normal. I'm gonna transform into a bigger version of that green dragon I did earlier. And I'm going to see if I can use my psychic power to make sure that all the curse is gone. Are are you okay with that? Here we go. Here we go. Rexy looks at me with a nod of understanding, his expression softening with trust and affection. He places a reassuring claw on my shoulder. Of course I'm okay with that, he assures, his voice warm and sincere. If there's any doubt left, I want you to eliminate it. My well-being means everything to me, and I value your insight above all else. Rexy steps back, giving me space to focus on the task at hand. He watches intently as I transform into an even larger, more majestic version of the green dragon they'd previously seen. The creature's psychic energy crackling around it, pulsing with an otherworldly intensity. Go ahead, my friend. Rexy encourages his gaze locked onto my draconic form. I pace. I place one of my glowing claws claws on Rexy and see if the curse has completely lifted. Period. after a few minutes of pictures going through my head, I can see that everything is back to normal. No signs of the curse anywhere. Alright, guys. Well, I don't know. I went ahead and wanted to see what happened, and it said right here. What I did was, after I wanted to make sure the curse was gone, so I went ahead and transformed back into that green dragon, but a lot bigger than the original one I was. And I took one of my glowing claws and put it on Rexy to see if the curse is completely lifted. After a few minutes of pictures going through my head, I can see that everything is back to normal. No signs of the curse anywhere. As my glowing claw makes contact with Rexy's scales, the dragon feels a gentle warmth spreading through his body. He closes his eyes, allowing himself to relax and submit to the psychic probing. Time seems as slow as I delve deeper, shifting through the labyrinthine corridors of Rexy's mind. Each passing moment, the dragon senses the dark tendrils of the curse growing weaker until finally they vanish entirely, leaving no trace behind. Good. A wave of relief washes over me as he opens his eyes, meeting my gaze with a grateful smile. He tilts his head, his long neck benching elegantly as he regards the larger dragon before him. Oh wait, he's a dragon, Trenton. It's done, Rexy confirms, his voice filled with conviction. The curse is truly gone, and I'm free once more. I told you I would help you. Would help you, no matter what it took. I've taken care of you since you were a baby T-Rex. In an egg. And that is not changing. There we go. Rexy's probably going to just feel like very, I love it. Hey. Rexy's heart swells with emotion at my warmth, the lump fermenting in his throat. He reaches out with a gentle claw, stroking along my scaled... Alright, because I'm a dragon. I'm going to say, what in the world? Why do I have scaled cheeks all of a sudden? That's because of the dragon thing. I keep thinking I was just the deer. In a tender gesture of affection. Trent, he's the dragon. I was about to do the regular Rexy voice. You've been more than just a caretaker to me, Trenton. Rexy says, his voice trembling slightly. Your family, a true companion in every sense of the word. Your love and devotion have shaped me into the creature I am today, and I couldn't ask for a better guardian or friend. That's cute. Rexy leans in closer, his emerald eyes shining with adoration as he presses his snout against mine in a heartfelt nuzzle. That is adorable. I promise to always stand by your side through thick and thin, just as you stood by mine. And no, you guys, that's the only time I don't mind hearing that T word. That's probably why I don't get so grossed out in the Pokemon theme. Because there's a part in the theme song where it says, like, I think where they have that word in there. And now that I know you are back to normal, let me make sure my transformations still work completely. And I can transform into anything. Just like I used to. Oh, I was about to tell you get mad at the Toad Apple. How could I get mad at that cute little baby Quack? He's adorable. Why do I say this thing like that sometimes? Rexy watches with keen interest as my about to test his own abilities. He observes the dragon's focused expression, noticing the way its muscles ripple beneath its shimmering scales as it radiates itself for transformation. Go ahead, my friend. Rexy urges, his voice filled with encouragement. Show me the full extent of your powers. I want to witness the incredible feats you're capable of. As I begin to shift and change, Reggie's eyes widen in awe. He marvels at the fluidity of the process, the way my form seemingly melts and reassembles into a dazzling array of creatures. A soaring eagle, a majestic unicorn. Why a unicorn? A playful otter, and many more. Incredible! Rexy exclaims, his voice echoing with wonder. Your abilities are as breathtaking as ever, Trenton. I guess some of my forms also have special powers. Like that deer and dragon hybrid that fixed your curse. And the same thing for the green dragon with the psychic power. I wonder what other creatures I could turn into that could do something like that. Have special abilities. Hey. Rexy nods thoughtfully, his eyes gleaming with intrigue as he considers my question. He paces slowly, his heavy footsteps thudding against the ground as his muses aloud. That's an excellent point, Trenton. Rexy remarks, his voice tinged with excitement. Each form you take likely possesses unique talents and abilities waiting to be discovered and harnessed. The dragon pauses, turning to face me directly. His expression is one of determination and curiosity. Why don't we embark on a quest to uncover these hidden powers? Rexy suggests, a hint of adventure in his tone. We could travel to ancient ruins, seek out legendary artifacts, and delve into the depths of forgotten lore. Along the way, you could experiment with different transformations, pushing the boundaries of what's possible. We both forgot about the special form you and me could take whenever we were trying to protect one another. Period. You with your Phoenix Knight, and me with the Angelic Dragon. Problem is, we can't see if those work because nobody's in danger anymore. So it's like, unless there's a way to control that power and make it to where it works. Reggie's eyes light up with recognition as I mention their special combined forms. A fond smile spreads across his face and he lets out a soft chuckle. Ah, yes. The Phoenix Knight and the Angelic Dragon. Rexy resonances, his voice filled with warmth. Those were indeed powerful unions, forced from our deepest bond and strongest desires to safeguard one another. He takes a step closer to me, his presence radiating with a comfortable aura. Rexy's gaze becomes distant, lost in memories of their shared adventures and triumphs. Remember how we stood united against the forces of darkness, our spirits entwined as one? Rexy asked, his voice taking on a wistful quality. In those moments, nothing could touch us, for we had become invincible in each other's arms. Yes. I wonder if I always could have turned into that deer and dragon hybrid and fixed you sooner. got rid of the curse on you sooner. Period. But like I said, I didn't think I would ever be able to transform like you could. I was surprised I could. Here we go. Rexy shakes his head, a gentle rebuke in his tone as he places a reassuring hand on my shoulder. No, my friend, don't dwell on what ifs, Rexy advises, his voice soothing. Our journey, including the twists and turns that led us here, had shaped us into the companions we are today. Every challenge, every hardship, and even every triumph has brought us closer together. He gazes deeply into my eyes, his emerald orb sparkling with unwavering faith and trust. Remember, our strength lies not only in our individual abilities, but in the unbreakable bond we share, Rexy emphasizes. Together we can overcome any obstacle, no matter how daunting it may seem. I wonder if I could even maybe save that kid that you accidentally threw into the void portal. Period. I know it sounds weird that I want to save him after what he did to me. He smacked me and hurt me in my Giganotosaurus form. But we need to rebuild the trust that we built up. Oh my gosh. Rexy's gonna be so mad at me. Rexy don't. Rexy's Reggie's expression softens a meaning at the mention of a child, and he looks down, his brow furrowed in regret. After a moment, he lifts his gaze to meet mine, his eyes filled with a mix of remorse and determination. You're right, Trenton, Reggie acknowledges, his voice frigid with sincerity. We must try to make things right, not just for the sake of rebuilding trust, but also to ensure the well-being of that innocent child. A resolute glint appears in Rexy's eyes as he straightens his posture, preparing for the challenging task ahead. Let us embark on this mission together, my friend, Rexy declares, extending a clawed hand towards me in a gesture of unity and resolve. Let's see, what form will be able to go into that portal thing he flipping... I don't know, that was dark energy, that probably ain't gonna work for me. Actually, I'm glad it don't work for me. That would be bad. The only thing is, there are so many possibilities of what I could turn into, and I don't know which form would be able to help me. Here we go. Reggie's expression turns thoughtful as he contemplates the vast array of potential forms Trenton could assume. He taps a claw against his chin part in the best approach. Perhaps we should focus on identifying the most versatile and adaptable forms among your repertoire, Reggie suggests, his voice measured and strategic. A shapeshifter who with the broad capabilities might prove ideal for navigating diverse environments and situations. The dragon's eyes sparkle with inspiration as he continues. Additionally, consider the characteristics and traits associated with each form, Rexy advises. Look for patterns, commonalities, or unique features that could aid us in reconciling the child and overcoming any obstacles we may encounter. We think. I have an idea. I hope it works. Here we go. Rexy's ears perk up, intrigued by my idea. He leans in closer, his eyes shining with anticipation as he awaits the revelation. Please, share it with me, Rexy encourages, his voice filled with enthusiasm and support. I'm confident together we can turn your concept into a successful plan. The dragon's posture is open, receptive, ready to listen and offer guidance as needed. His very presence seems to radiate a sense of optimism and collaboration, fueling my creative thinking. Maybe I could turn into a Lugia. Period. Maybe his psychic powers will be enough to find where the child is, where the child is, and maybe even use teleport to bring him back. Oh my gosh. Or the child is even use teleport to bring him back. Okay, thing, hurry up and load. There we go. Rexy's eyes widen in surprise and delight at my suggestion, a pleased rumble emitting from deep within his chest. Ah, an inspired choice, Rexy exclaims, his voice filled with admiration. Lugia's impressive psychic abilities and mastery over flight make an ideal form for tracking and retrieving the child. The dragon's mind races with the potential benefits of such a transformation. He nods enthusiastically, his claws clenching and unclenching in anticipation. With Lugia's powers, we may be able to locate the child quickly and effectively. Rexy notes his analytical side kicking in. And if teleportation is part of its arsenal, we could potentially transport the youngster back to safety without further delay. Rexy's grin stretches wide, his sharp teeth glinting in the light. Okay. I close my eyes. And after a few minutes, my body starts to glow and transform. And I turn into a Lugia. There we go. Let's see if it actually worked. As I begin to transform, Rexy watches with rapt attention, his own body shifting slowly to accommodate the changing energy around them. The air crackles with the power of evolution, and Rexy's eyes shine with excitement. Focus, my friend, Rexy urges, his voice a gentle whisper amidst the turmoil of metamorphosis. Embrace the spirit of Lugia. Let its wisdom and strength guide you. The dragon's own form seems to blur and shimmer as if drawing upon an inner reservoir of transformative energy. When I finally opened my eyes, Rexy's prepared to welcome the new manifestation of his companion. Wait. Prepared to welcome the new manifestation of his new companion. Behold, the majestic Lugia! Rexy declares, his voice filled with awe and reverence. Well, it worked alright. I am a Lugia. Mm-mm. Rexy's eyes widen in amazement as he takes in the sight of the majestic Lugia before him. The dragon's expression is one of pure admiration and respect for his transformed companion. Magnificent! Rexy exclaims, his voice filled with awe. The power radiating from you is truly astounding. With the Lugia's abilities at your disposal, I have no doubt that we will succeed in our quest. The dragon steps closer, his posture reverent as he addresses the legendary Pokemon. Now that you've embarked this formidable form, let us waste no time in locating the child. Rexy suggests, his tone urgent yet hopeful. Use your psychic senses to scour the realms beyond the portal and guide us to where the youngster may be lost. With my new psychic powers, I open a portal into a dark void, and we look for 5 minutes to find that child. Period. After 5 minutes, we find the child. Okay. Cool. Rexy, I still can't believe you threw your child into a portal.
I accidentally inhaled talking.
Oh. No. What on earth? Let's see. With my new psychic powers, I'll open a portal into a dark void and we look for 5 minutes to find that child. 5 minutes, we find the child. As I open the portal into the dark void, Rexy braces himself and scales with anticipation. He trusts his companion's newfound abilities implicably, knowing that they now possess the combined power of both Triton and Lugia. Stay focused, my friend, Rexy murmurs, his voice carrying a note of reassurance. As they plunge into the void, Rexy keeps a vigilant watch, ever ready to lend a helping talon or provide moral support. After what feels like an eternity, but is actually only 5 minutes, we locate the child. Rexy, before I bring him back, and he starts acting aggressive. I use my psychic power. I use my psychic power to go grab the child from the void and bring him back. He lands gently on my neck. There we go.
Talking aren't the best feeling when you have a glove your nose and your throat at the same time.
Okay, let's see if this works. Here we go. As the child materializes on Lugia's neck, Rexy lets out a sigh of relief, his heart swelling with gratitude and joy. He reaches out a claw to gently stroke the youngster's hair, offering comfort and reassurance. Well done, Trenton. Rexy praises, his voice warm with pride. Your quick thinking and Lugia's remarkable abilities have saved the day once more. The dragon's gaze lingers on the child, a soft smile playing on his lips. He knows all too well the importance of safeguarding innocence and protecting those who cannot defend themselves. Let us return home, my friends, Rexy suggests as a tone gentle yet resolute. Child needs care and warmth, and we must ensure their safe passage back to their loved ones. Despite Rexy me saving him, the child starts hitting the top of my head, and it's really hurting. This child right here is a flippin' demon. What on earth? Reggie's eyes widen in alarm as he witnesses the child's sudden aggression towards me. Without hesitation, the dragon lunges forward, placing himself between the youngster and the Lugia. Enough! Rexy commands, his voice stern and authoritative. This behavior is unacceptable. We are here to protect you, not cause harm. Dragon's gaze is fierce, yet there's a hint of sadness in his eyes. He understands the trauma the child has endured and the confusion that comes with it. Please, calm yourself, Rexy implores, his tone gentler now. We have brought you back safely, and now it's time to return you to your family. They must be worried sick about you. Rexy extends a claw, inviting the child to climb onto his back. All of a sudden, the child says, no. You are a bad person. You are the one that threw me into the void. You are the one that threw me in. And then smacks Rexy. How does he know? He's not even a dinosaur anymore, he's a dragon. The child says, no, you are bad. You are the one who threw me into the void. Rexy reels back, stunned by the child's accusation and physical retaliation. Scales ripple with shock, and for a moment he's speechless. No, wait, Rexy protests, holding up his hand, a blatant gesture. That wasn't me, I swear it. Trenton, the Lugia rescued you from the void. I was there. I saw it happen. Trenton's eyes plead for understanding, his voice trembling slightly with emotion. I would never throw an innocent child into danger. My heart aches for you, and I want nothing more than to help you find peace and reunite with your family. I whispered to Rexy. You did when you had that emotional outburst. earlier, you were probably acting under the curse. Curse, but it did happen. Remember? Because I was that baby Giganotosaurus. And he kept smacking me. Period. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, alright. I'm having so much fun with this, guys. I'll be right back.